وقال لهم خزنتها سلام عليكم طبتم فادخلوها خالدين وقالوا الحمد لله الذي صدقنا وعده وأورثنا الأرض نتبوأ من الجنة حيث نشاء فنعم أجر العاملين وترى الملائكة حافين من حول العرش يسبحون بحمد ربهم وقضي بينهم بالحق وقيل الحمد لله رب العالمين صدق الله العظيم. Alhamdulillah. Mr. Raheem of our ulama here in Barbados. We're very, very fortunate just to be in his company. So just listen attentively, mashallah, and we sit with the intention of taking benefit from the presentation.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah wa kafa wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidil Habibil Mustafa wa ala alihi wa ashabihi nujumil huda qadati tuqa. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad abdika wa rasulik النبي الأمي نبي الرحمة كما تحب وترضى عدد ما تحب وترضى كلما ذكره الذاكرون وكلما غفل عن ذكره الغافلون اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا ومشايخنا ووفقنا لما تحب وترضى من القول والعمل والفعل والنية والهدي اللهم آثرنا ولا تؤثر علينا اللهم أعطنا ولا تحرمنا اللهم أكرمنا ولا تهنا اللهم أرضنا عنك وارض عنا اللهم أصلح لنا شأننا كله لا إله إلا أنت أما بعد. Respected طلبة كرام أساتذة إعزام, it gives me great pleasure to sit among you. क्या नाम है मदरसे का? Da'watul Haq. In Madrasa Da'watul Haq, Barbados, MashaAllah, Mufti Saeed Saab gave me this opportunity to sit among you and share some words of deen with you. I have been given this topic of talking about Kitabul Fitan. Inshallah, we will discuss this a little bit. First of all, this kitab from which we are going to study Hadith Shareef is called Mishkatul Masabih. Mishkat means the niche, the shelf on which candles and lanterns are placed, and Masabih is plural of Misbah, which means the lanterns. Muhyi Sunnah al-Baghawi rahmatullah alayhi wrote the nice beautiful book Masabih al-Sunnah, which had just over 4,300 hadith. Then Khatib Tabrizi rahmatullahi alayhi organized it and beautifully presented it and added some hadith in it and named it Mishkatul Masabih, the niche from where you can collect and gather these lanterns. Very nice book. It has been taught in our Darse Nizami throughout the Indian subcontinent for many, many decades, if not centuries. And Alhamdulillah, Summa Alhamdulillah, many commentaries have been written regarding it. Our Hazrat Sheikh Yunus Saab's commentary, Anwarul Mishkat, has recently been published. Alhamdulillah, volume 1 is out. We're hoping that volume 2 will also come soon. Make dua, Allah makes it easy. Mishkat Shareef, very nice compilation of hadith. Only Sahabi's name and the reference of the book. In the beginning, Sahib Mishkat said in the Muqaddamah that I will only relate the hadith to Bukhari, Muslim and the Aimma Muhaddithin whose names are mentioned. When I mention their name, then that's it. That it is as though I have related it to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Because the matter of chain has been discussed by them and they have made us independent. We don't need to go down that route now. When we say Rawahul Bukhari, then it's finished. We don't need to check the sanad of it. Some people still want to check. And they say, no, we have to check it. They started saying, Rawahul Bukhari wa huwa sahihun. Rawahu Muslim wa huwa sahihun. Shaykh Abdul Fattah Abu Ghuddar Rahmatullahi wrote to them that this attitude is wrong. You could say, Hada hadithun sahihun Rawahul Bukhari. Hada hadithun sahihun Rawahu Muslim. But you can't say Rawahul Bukhari wa huwa sahih, Rawahu Muslim wa huwa sahih, because this means you are above Bukhari and Muslim. And Bukhari and Muslims, only those hadiths will be sahih which you declare as sahih. If you were to say tomorrow that this hadith is in Bukhari but za'if, or it's in Muslim but za'if, then you will become the authority. And that was their aim. And this is how they tried to corrupt the whole field of hadith. But Alhamdulillah, Muhaddithin stood up and said, this attitude is wrong. Shaykh Abdul Fattah Abu Ghuddar Rahmatullahi was one of the first to refute this type of attitude, and then people wrote books regarding them. Tanaquzatul Albani Al-Wadiha. 7,000 tanaquz. 1,000 were gathered in there by Shaykh Hassan ibn Ali As-Saqaf Rahmatullahi alayhi. So, Alhamdulillah, Mishkat Shareef is beautiful compilation. We can say that all hadiths are accurate. There might be some weakness in some hadith, but there is no mawzu and forged hadith in Mishkat Shareef. Weakness doesn't matter, because Muhaddithin say you can use dhaif hadith in fada'il. In fact, fuqaha say they can use them in masail as well. Hadith al-qahqaha fi salat and wuzu breaking with it is a weak hadith. But Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi used it for masala. Ibn al-Qayyim has used dhaif hadith in aqaid as well. The hadith of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creating the earth and then doing tawaf of the earth is extremely weak and munkar. It's in Musnad Ahmad ibn Hanbal, but Ibn al-Qayyim used it because it was according to his aqidah. He is leaning towards tajseem. So they used zaif ahadith, in fact munkar ahadith in aqidah as well. And they say that you can't use zaif hadith in fadail, and they object on Fazailul Amal of Hazrat Shaykh Zakaria Nawrallahu Man Qadahu Barna Masjahu. So, if we go down that route and say there is zaif hadith in here, Nasiruddin Albani went on that route and he separated kitabs. He wrote a 2-volume Sahih al-Tirmidhi, another 2-volume Zaif al-Tirmidhi. Now if you go in the market and you see Sahih al-Tirmidhi, which one are you going to buy? Sahih al-Tirmidhi. You're going to leave the Zaif al-Tirmidhi. And then Zaif al-Tirmidhi is according to his criteria, not the criteria of Salaf Salihin. He made his own criteria of Sihat and Dhaf. So he is totally unreliable person. Mishkat Shareef, he also tried to say some hadith in Zaif on Munkar and this and that for Mishkat, but people didn't pay attention to him. Don't pay attention to him. Alhamdulillah, our Kabir have studied hadith. Hadith should be studied with huge respect, adab, muhabbat, azamat. Even if it's a Zaif hadith, but it's still hadith. One of our ulama kiram said, but they throw Zaif hadith in the garbage, whereas Zaif hadith should not be thrown in the garbage. Tell me, if a person is old and zaif and weak, do you throw him in the qabr? Or you support him, you give him sahara, help him to stand up? Harry? Of course, you help him, you support him. So zaif hadith should be supported. Look for some other shawahid, mutabi', and try and support it and make it strong. Not just throw it away that this hadith is zaif and discredit it. So, Mishkat Shareef beautiful compilation. Your Asatiza will go through the collection of hadiths with you, inshallah. Today I'm going to teach from Kitabul Fitan. Before we start the hadith, hadith Musalsal bil Awliyyah. Our Hazrat Shaykh Yunus Sahib, Rahmatullahi alayhi, used to recite the khutbah which I recited at the beginning. That was his daily khutbah in his Bukhari Sharif Dars. So for Barakat, I read that same khutbah. And Hazrat Shaykh Yunus Sahib always, when he would start his Bukhari Sharif Khatam, he would read Hadith Musalsal bil Awliyyat first, and then he would talk about the final chapter and Hadith of Sahih al-Bukhari. Our Hazrat Maulana Yusuf Mutala Sahib Rahmatullah alayhi, towards the end of his life, would do the same as well, reading Musalsal bil Awliyyat first. This could be because if sometime later on during life you were to study hadith with me, then your tasalsul and continuity does not break. So I will read the hadith Musalsal bil Awliyyat first, then we will talk about Kitabul Fitan. عن عبد الله بن عمرو بن العاص رضي الله تعالى عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الراحمون يرحمهم الرحمن تبارك وتعالى ارحموا من في الأرض يرحمكم من في السماء وفي رواية ارحموا ترحموا رواه أبو داود والترمذي. Those who are merciful to others, Rahman Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is merciful towards them. Have mercy upon those on the earth, and those in the heavens will have mercy on you. And in one riwayat, be merciful, you will be shown mercy. Now, Shaykh Yunus Sahib said, this tasalsul goes to Sufyan ibn Uyayna rahmatullah alayhi, who was a great muhaddith. And why would he teach these hadiths first? He did because the mansha of the takhliq, the reason for the creation of the universe is rahmat. When Allah created the universe, He wrote on one nice frame, Inna rahmati sabaqat ghadabi, and He kept it on His arsh, which indicates that the aim and maqsad behind the creation is rahmat, mercy. So rahmat is the ibtida. That's how creation started. So muhaddithin liked it, and when they start their lesson, they start with the hadith of rahmat. And number two, this gives an ishara to the ustad, whether he is teaching Mishkat, or he is teaching Sarf Nahwa, or he is teaching Hifz to the boys, or he is teaching Quran Sharif, whatever, that ustad should teach himself that I have to be merciful towards my students. And the students also understand that we have to be merciful towards our ustad. Now, ustad mercy is not in just being softy. Sometimes mercy is in being strict and firm as well. Sometimes the doctor has to do surgery and operate on the body and cut some part of the body because it's going to be harmful. So you might think that he is being harsh and rude, but he is trying to cure the person. Similarly, sometimes ustaz has to be strict as well, because it's not you upon whom he is being strict, it's the shaitan in you, inside you, upon whom ustad is getting strict. And the student has to be soft and kind towards the teacher. He shouldn't ask unnecessary, useless questions, shouldn't annoy the ustad. He should behave properly, and ustad's adab should not be outwardly, it should be inwardly as well. Just outside, the ustad putting the shoes right, but inside there is no adab, no respect, then this person could be mahroom. We have heard of many hafiz who forgot their hifz, forgot their Quran, they went on the wrong track. One, I know of someone who became Shia. Many who left Deen Islam, became Murtad. Why? The reason is because while they were becoming Hafiz, there was no adab in the heart. The adab was only superficial, outward adab. Inside they hated the Ustad. And inside they had no respect. They used to sometimes backbite, swear, abuse the Ustad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees everything. When He sees that type of behavior, He takes it away. Sometimes it's taken away for some other sin and bad habit as well. Hazrat Junaid Baghdadi Rahmatullahi alayhi saw one person staring at the opposite gender with lust. And he was Hafiz. Hazrat asked him, told him off, wait, what are you doing? You're staring, you sin of the eye. You're committing the sin of the eye. And he made fun. He said, Hazrat, I am looking at the beauty of the creation of Allah. And Hazrat said, because of this be'adbi, you will forget your Quran. And sometime later, that young man did forget the Quran Shareef. Whole Quran Shareef. Gone. Finished. Because of this be'adbi. This be'adbi, disrespect, is something which Allah hates. Never be disrespectful towards your ustad. Always have respect for ustad from the bottom of the heart. Not just outside, inside the heart as well. You have to respect your ustad. Whether he is teaching you alif ba ta sa, or pare amma, or hafti, or Quran Sharif nazara, or is teaching you hifaz, or he is teaching you alimiyat, the darje ula kitabs, or darje uliya kitabs, or Mishkat, or Bukhari. You have to have adab of ustad in the heart from day one. And it is my experience. I've seen many students, during their study days, they were not so bright. But they had huge respect for ustad. And when they graduated, they went on to do lots of khidmat of deen. They kept busy. Allah took lots of khidmat of deen from them. There were others who were really intelligent, bright, and who used to come first in the class. But they didn't have that much respect. They never did the khidmat of the ustad. Never did anything for the ustad. They were there for their study, no khidmat, no connection with the ustad. So even though they were really bright and they studied really well, we thought they were going to be something after they graduate. But when they went home, they went back to dunya, business, job, this, that, no khidmat of deen. So it is the adab of ustad by which Allah becomes happy and your ilm is preserved in your hearts, and by which you will shine and you will become great, inshallah. You have to have adab, respect for ustad in your heart. So perhaps for this reason, Asatiza used to read Ar-Rahimun Yarhamhumur Rahman, Hadith Musalsal bil Awwaliyyat, Hadith Rahmat first, and then they would start the lessons of Hadith. We start Kitabul Fitan. Jazakallah Mufti Sahab. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah. Kitabul Fitan. الفصل الأول عن حذيفة رضي الله تعالى عنه قال: قام فينا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم مقاما ما ترك شيئا يكون في مقامه ذلك إلى قيام الساعة إلا حدث به، حفظه من حفظه ونسيه من نسيه، قد علمه أصحابي هؤلاء، وإنه ليكون منه الشيء قد نسيته فأراه فأذكره كما يذكر الرجل وجه الرجل إذا غاب عنه ثم إذا رآه عرفه. متفق عليه. This kitab is about fitan. Fitan is plural of fitna. And fatana yaftunu futunan means to test. Allah said in Surah Taha, وَقَتَلْتَ نَفْسًا فَنَجَّيْنَاكَ مِنَ الْغَمِّ وَفَتَنَّاكَ فُتُونًا. Musa, you killed one person by mistake, and then you were really worried and anxious and terrified. So we delivered you and saved you from that gham and ghutan, and we tested you in many ways. So fatana means to test. Allah said, وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنَةً وَإِلَيْنَا تُرْجَعُونَ. We check you out with good and bad, virtue and vice. This is to test you. Meaning, imtihan and ikhtibar and testing is in both ways. Sometimes with something we feel is bad for us, like illness, sickness. Sometimes in good ways, like wealth, happiness. Some people are poor around the world. This is a test of their sabr. And some people are extremely wealthy. This is a test of their sugar. So we test people out in many ways. Some with sabr, other with sugar. People's lives revolve around these two. So fitna means to test. Then fitna is barwazane fi'la. Like you read in Hidayatul Nahu, jilsa. Jalastu jilsat al-qari. I sit in the manner of the sitting of Qari Sahib. So fitna is hal. الحالة التي يؤول إليه الإنسان بعد الاختبار. The halat and condition to which a person resorts and turns after the testing is called fitna. Then it was used for those things by which a person is tested and he falls into trials and tribulations and problems. Like ما تركت بعدي فتنة أضر على الرجال من النساء. I have not left after me any fitna which is more harmful towards men than women. Women are the greatest fitna. لكل أمة فتنة وفتنة أمتي المال. Every ummah had a fitna. My ummah's fitna is wealth. So these things are huge tests and trials, problems. And a person normally, if he is tested by women, he succumbs, he falls, and then he becomes very softy, and then ishak, and in that ishak, he goes outline and finished. His deen is tested. So that condition to which a person turns after that test, that trial, is called fitna. Now, Muhaddithin conduct in their kitabs chapters like Kitabul Salat, Kitabul Zakat, Kitabul Sawm, Kitabul Hajj, Kitabul Buyu', Kitabul Nikah, Kitabul Talaq, Kitabul At'imah, Kitabul Ashriba, Kitabul Riqaq, and they also bring Kitabul Fitan wa Ashrat as-Sa'ah. This is one of the last kitabs. After this there is Manaqib, Babu Jami' al-Manaqib and Manaqibul Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Some people have asked that this is last kitab. Why did not say Kitabul Manaqib, only Babul Manaqib? And people try to answer question that because the Manaqib are included in there. Because if you believe in those Manaqib and if you respect the Anbiya alayhimus salam and the Sahaba, then that is good for you. And if you start insulting them, that is bad for you. That's how it's included in fitna as well. Anyhow, some people try to do ta'wil in there. Muhaddithin have said that there are 8 abwab. If they are collected in one kitab, that kitab will be called Jami'. Fitanu Ashrat, kya hai? Ab nikal gaye mere Manaqib, Adab, 8 abwab. Then the kitab will be Jami'. So Mishkat Shareef is now talking about those hadith in which there is mention of fitnas. Before Qiyamah, there will be plenty of fitnas. You must have heard those hadith wherein Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam mentioned ashratu sa'a. For example, inna min ashrati sa'ati an yurfa al-ilm wa yakthura al-jahl wa yakthura shurbu al-khamr wa yaqilla al-rijal wa takthura al-nisa' hatta yakuna li 50 mar'atan al-qayyim al-wahid. You have heard the hadith of Jibreel. فأخبرني عن أماراتها أن تلد الأمة ربتها وأن ترى الحفاة العراة العالة رعاء الشاء يتطاولون في البنيان. So these alamat, fitnas, increasing before Qiyamah's arrival. Fitnas have come and gone, but before Qiyamah they will be at an alarming scale. So many fitnas that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, تَدَعُ الْحَلِيمَ فِيهِمْ حَيْرَانٍ. Even the most tolerant, forbearing person's mind will be boggled, he won't know where to turn to. He said, كَقِطَعِ اللَّيْلِ الْمُظْلِمِ يُصْبِحُ الرَّجُلُ مُؤْمِنًا وَيُمْسِي كَافِرًا وَيُمْسِي مُؤْمِنًا وَيُصْبِحُ كَافِرًا. They will come in succession, continuity, and fitnas, one after the other, one after the other. In one riwayat it is said, يَقُولُ الْمَرْءُ هَذِهِ مُهْلِكَتِي. A person will say, this fitna is going to destroy me. But then another will come. And he will feel that the previous one was even lighter. This is even greater than that. And that has not finished. Another will come, another will come, another will come. And they will be like the dark patches of extremely dark night. There are dark pieces, patches, but they are one above the other. ظُلُمَاتٌ بَعْضُهَا فَوْقَ بَعْضٍ. And a person by morning will be believer, but by evening he will be kafir. Or by evening he will be believer. He will wake up in the morning as a kafir. He will sell his deen for a meager price. So these fitnas will be huge, and we have to understand a fitna as a fitna and try our best to avoid it. When we know that this is a fitna, then why will we fall for it? We have to avoid it. Now, before we translate the hadith, we are going through this 1443 year after Hijrah, 15th century of the Islamic calendar, and 21st century of the solar calendar. And fitnas are huge, and they are coming in successions. So we have to be Ibnul Waqt, man of the time, understand the fitnas, recognize them, protect ourselves and protect others. Among the greatest fitnas of today, what is the greatest fitna of today? Come on. Mobile phone? MashaAllah. Good answer. What did you say, my friend? Women? Good answer. Is right? The hadith said it. Women are the greatest fitna. Is right? Mobile phone is great fitna as well. Anything else? Bolo? Wealth. Wealth is a great fitna as well. Everybody wants money. And for money, we don't care about halal, haram, jaiz, najaiz. We just want money, money, money. It's so funny in a rich man's world. It should come from anywhere. So, mobile is fitna, women are fitna, wealth is fitna. Or bolo? Huh? Sorry? Acha, town. Acha, tongue, zaban. Acha. हाँ ज़बान ठीक है ज़बान we utter things. Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in times of fitna al-lisan ashaddu fiha min waq'i as-sayf, that the tongue will be greater than the sword's strike, and people will bang, talking too much, and this is fitna, because when you talk too much you accuse people, you lie, you backbite, you cheat, you say things you shouldn't be saying. So it's a big fitna. And Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that, control your tongues. And Sahabi said, Ya Rasulullah, wa inna la muakhazuna bima natakallam. Are we going to be held accountable for what we say? If I hit someone, injure him, make him bleed, that's something we can see. If I take someone's money, we can see. But with tongue, we just say something, swear, abuse, whatever. We haven't hurt anyone or made him bleed or taken anything from him. So are we going to be held accountable for what we say? And he said, ثَقِلَتْكَ أُمُّكَ يَا مُعَاذ وَهَلْ يَكُبُّ النَّاسَ فِي النَّارِ عَلَى وُجُوهِهِمْ إِلَّا حَصَائِدُ أَلْسِنَتِهِمْ. Is there anything that throws people into the pits of Jahannam except the harvest of their tongue? When the tractor goes on the harvest and cut, this is how we cut. So whatever we gather, it's all collected over here. And this is what throws people in the fire of Jahannam. So these are all fitnas. Think of the fitna as fitna. Mobile phone is one of the greatest fitnas. My Ustad Hazrat Maulana Saifur Rahman Sahab, Sheikhul Hadith, in Madrasa Saulatiya. He once said that मेरी नज़र में इस ज़माने में सबसे बड़ा फितना ये मोबाइल फ़ोन है. And he said in our Saudi, you know, they charge for using mobile during the day, but at night time is free. So the youngsters, they spend their whole night on mobile. And then they don't go to school, college. This is, I'm talking about 5-6 years ago. There was no COVID then. But they just don't go to school. Even if they do go, right, they're sleeping in the lessons. What are they going to study? So he said mobile phone is greatest fitna. And then on mobile, you have everything. Just one touch of a button. Naked women. And films, videos, movies, all fitnas, everything on there. If you go back 50 years, I was reading one article, and the Guriya was saying, I'm not saying, I'm just quoting him. He said 50 years ago, it was a blessing to see a naked woman. He said blessing. It was a blessing to see a naked woman. But today, a naked woman is at the touch of a button. You can view her whenever you want, however much you want. Mobile phone is one of the greatest fitnas. And on mobile phone, there's social media and all the apps on there. Whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. TikTok. TikTok, the clock goes TikTok, right? And they've named it TikTok because it's wasting your time. TikTok, the clock is. Hazrat Sheikh Rahmatullah used to say, that his father used to say, that this clock in India, they have them large clocks, and every hour they go ting, 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 6 times, 7 times, 8 times. So एक घड़ियाल ये देता है तुझको मुनादी कि घटा दी. This tick, tick, tick is telling you that I have reduced 1 hour from your life. I have reduced 1 hour from your life. I have reduced 1 hour from your life. Every hour is giving you that awaz and munadi. So, waste of time. YouTube, spend hours on there. And one of the greatest fitnas which is approaching us is the fitna of metaverse. Have you heard of metaverse? It's the advanced form of Facebook. Metaverse, they say we live in this universe. We think that this universe is only one. But in reality, there are multiverses, many universes outside. And then metaverse means something that is unreal. It's a Greek word. So metaverse means unreal world. So you create your own world according to your imagination. So you will be, if you have that metaverse, then you will have to wear the massive goggles on your head, and you will have them two controllers in your hand, and with that you can sit there, and you can be sitting in the cold, freezing weather of Scotland, Highland, United Kingdom, but you want to visit Barbados, so you put that on, and then you go to Barbados, and you make your room like the Barbados beach, and everything, the water and the fishes and everything, and you are enjoying that. So in reality, you are sitting somewhere, but just as you can change the screen cover on your mobile, you will be able to change your whole room environment. In fact, you will have the ocean in front of you, and you will be able to get the whale out of the water and jump up and go back into the water, and you will feel that water falling on you. This is the unreal world. You make your own world. It will give you lots of fun. It will make your life really funny, and it will make you contact many people around the world. It will take you out of this world into the other worlds, into the unreal world, and into the magical world. And it's like you are watching the Harry Potter movie, and you become Harry Potter yourself. You are the actor. You are doing everything. You make your own movie. So Facebook is going to another level. Now, it's going to be a great fitna. BBC reported on there, I'm sorry there's young kids here as well, but it said that 9-10-year-old kids are going on metaverse. And they're going into bars and beaches and discos and casinos, and they are committing zina and rape and murder and whatever they want to do. 9-10-year-old kids. Imagine, which was not allowed for under 18s. You have to be 18 plus to go in those places. But on metaverse, they're going into those real. It makes it feel like real. You're really there. You're drinking alcohol. You're raping. You're killing. You're fighting. You're injuring, and you're not getting injured yourself, but you're doing everything. And this is what makes people go out and shoot innocent people. You heard just a few days ago in USA, Buffalo, this person went with his gun and he was relaying real live shooting on Twitch, which is an app. So he was actually killing people, and he had hatred for black people. So he killed 12 people, among them 10 were black, 2 were white. He didn't realize he killed them as well. So that white supremacist, after watching all these games and movies and films, this reminds me, these games you play, like Grand Theft Auto or Sin City or Fortnite, right? They make you lose your humanity. You become an inhumane person. You don't remain a human being anymore. You are an inhumane person. You don't have feeling for other people. Normally, if we see someone in an accident or something bleeding, we immediately rush to help them. We can't, if our hearts are soft, we can't look at an injured person. Hazrat Maulana Musiullah Khan Sahab, Rahmatullahi alayhi, came to England. So he was at one place and some accident had happened, and the person narrating the incident was saying, Hazrat, oh, zabardast accident hua, और उसमें वो दो गाड़ियाँ टक्कर लग गई और वो बॉडी बाहर आ गई और उसका भेजा निकल गया और बस भाई, I can't hear anymore. No, stop, I don't want to hear anymore. When he said he was all bleeding and his brain had popped out and this and that, I said, please don't say anymore, I don't want to hear it. I can't hear it, I can't take it. This is because of the softness and gentleness of the heart. You can't see a person suffering in that manner, and you can't even hear about that suffering. But when you play these games, they teach you to blow the brains out of the person. Shooting. And in those games, you get more points if you shoot on the head, on the eye, on the face. If you shoot on the legs, you get less points. But if you shoot on the head and the brains, blow them out, you get more points. So what's that making you? What type of person is that making you? This is great fitna. All these games and mobiles, you should avoid them. Especially you as students. You should be focusing on your studies. Don't go onto these mobiles, even if you're at home and you've got everything at the fingertips. No, control yourself. This is what taqwa means. Lead a life of taqwa, be a muttaqi. Taqwa, parhezgari is what we need. So, we have lots of fitnas out there. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from those fitnas. Continue to make du'as. Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min al-fitan ma zahara minha wa ma batan. Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min fitnati nisa. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min iblis wa junudihi. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min sharri shaytan wa shirkihi. اللهم قني شر نفسي واعزم لي على أرشد أمري اللهم إني أعوذ بك من شر سمعي ومن شر بصري ومن شر لساني ومن شر dua is taught in the hadith. So we have to seek Allah's protection. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من عذاب جهنم وأعوذ بك من عذاب القبر وأعوذ بك من فتنة المحيا والممات وأعوذ بك من شر فتنة المسيح الدجال. Learn these du'as, memorize them, and make sure you make these du'as regularly. Then Allah will protect you from fitnas. Allah will protect your deen and iman. Now I will just translate this hadith. अभी वो सब खाने का टाइम हुआ, बेचारे भूखे हैं बच्चे, इशा बाद खाना है, तो अभी क्या निज़ाम है, खेलने का टाइम है। अच्छा ठीक है, मैं बस पूरा कर देता हूँ 5 मिनट में, फिर बच्चों को कह जाओ खेलो। Sayyiduna Huzaifa radiyallahu anhu reports, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam stood amongst us on one occasion, and he did not leave anything that is going to happen whilst he was in that spot, and that thing was happening, going to happen until the day of Qiyamah, but he related it to us. Those who memorized that speech, memorized it, and those who forgot it. These companions of mine also know it. And sometimes something happens which I had forgotten, but then I see it and I remember it, just as a person remembers the face of another person when that person is absent from him. Then when he sees him after some time, he recognizes him. Another riwayat says that on one occasion, Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam stood on the mimbar after Fajr, and he started giving speech, bayan, and mentioning these fitnas of what's going to happen before the day of Qiyamah. And he kept talking until Zohar. And then after Zohar until Asr, after Asr until Maghrib. He talked for the whole day. This in itself is a mu'jiza of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We talk for half an hour and we get tired. Our petrol runs out and we have to say, Bas bhai Khuda Hafiz. But here Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is talking for the whole day, and he is talking about the fitnas that are going to happen. Sayyiduna Huzaifa said that sometimes it happens that he had mentioned it, I heard it, I forget it. But then when that thing happened, I said, oh, yeah, Rasulullah said this. This is going to happen. Look, it's happened. This fitna has come. For example, let's say, Sayyidina Usman Ghani radiyallahu anhu, Shaheed Mazloom, is murdered by the rebels. And Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said it, this is going to happen. When it happens, he remembers, oh, Huzur had said it. The Qiyamah will not come until you kill your Imam with your own hands. حَتَّى تَقْتُلُوا إِمَامَكُمْ. So things like this. So he said, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was given knowledge of these fitnas, and he mentioned them, and these ahadith which are going to come in this chapter are part of those ahadith which Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned regarding fitnas. So this is an opening for Kitabul Fitan. And then he goes on to the next hadith. وعنه قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول تعرض الفتن على القلوب كالحصير عودا عودا فأي قلب أشربها نكتت فيه نكتة سوداء وأي قلب أنكرها نكتت فيه نكتة بيضاء حتى تصير على قلبين أبيض مثل الصفا فلا تضره فتنة ما دامت السماوات والأرض والآخر أسود مربادا كالكوز مجخيا لا يعرف معروفا ولا ينكر منكرا إلا ما أشرب من هواه رواه مسلم. Sayyidina Huzaifa radiyallahu anhu reports, I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam say, fitnas will be presented upon the heart like a mat which is crafted by putting one piece of stick over another, and then another, and then another, and then another. Now whichever heart drinks that fitna, is caused to absorb that fitna, then a black patch dot will be formed on that heart. And whichever heart rejects that fitna, then a white nurani spot will be made on that heart, until the hearts will become in one of two categories. Some hearts will be white and shiny and as strong as a rock, and no fitna will harm them as long as the heavens and the earth remain. And the other heart will be black, murky. It will be like a pot which has been placed upside down or sideways. You can't pour anything in that pot. That heart will not recognize virtue as virtue, will not reject an evil as an evil. It will only go for those carnal, vain desires which have been placed in them or which it has been made to drink. Rawahu Muslim. Beautiful hadith. Turadul fitanu al qulub. Fitnas will be presented on the hearts. Kal hasiri udan udan. Have you seen someone who's making cane furniture? Right? They have a frame and they put pieces of wood in length and then pieces of wood in width, and they work their way up. One piece of string or whatever mat, like palm tree, it's mat one over the other, and then they work their way in making that beautiful, nice cane furniture, that mat or whatever they're making. So similarly, fitnas will come one after the other on the hearts. Now, some hearts will absorb that fitna in them. Right? Like you fall in love with a girl, right? You keep looking at her, you start chatting with her, you fall for her, then you've got that fitna, you've drunk it. Now this will form a black patch on the heart. And the more you chat and the more you talk, the darker it will get. On the other hand, some hearts will reject it and say, no, Tawbah, astaghfirullah, this is fitna. And even if she flirts with you, you say, no, Tawbah, astaghfirullah, don't come here, go away. Right? Like Yusuf alayhi salam. He said to Zulaykha, she said, Khayyatak. And he said, Ma'azallah, innahu rabbi ahsana maswai, innahu la yuflihu zalimun. So he runs away from that fitna. Then this will bring a beautiful noor and light and shine on the heart. And slowly, hearts will become one of two categories. Some hearts will become extremely, what did he say first over here? Abyadu mithla safa. Extremely nurani and white, with lots of noor in there. And mithla safa, this tashbih is in its strength, like a rock. You will see on mountains some massive, huge rocks. They've been there since the time of Adam alayhi salam. They haven't moved. Even storms and winds and hurricanes came, many things toppled, but those rocks have not moved from there. So this heart will be nurani and it will be as strong as those massive rocks, unshakable, unmovable. It will be strong on the deen, steadfast. It knows what's right, what's wrong. I'm going to do what's right, I'm going to avoid what's wrong. So this heart, by rejecting the fitnas, will become nurani and strong. And once that's happened, that heart's been trained, then no fitna will affect it forever, until the heavens and the earth remain. Meaning, in the beginning you are young, like you small young boys over here, you are studying. If you develop this habit of rejecting fitnas, then your heart will become nurani and strong. And then inshallah, as you grow up, this age is very critical. The age between 11, 12 to 22, 24, 25, this is called shabab. This is your make or break age. If you are made in this time, then inshallah you will be protected forever. But if you break yourself here, then it will be a huge struggle later on. So some hearts will become really nurani and strong like that rock, and then fitna will not harm them because the heart has been trained. It's got namaz, roza, zakat, tilawat, zikr, fikr, noor in there. It will continue with that and it will remain strong and steadfast. On the other side, other hearts will become black because the dark patches will keep coming, one fitna, another fitna, another fitna, another fitna. Sometimes one girl, another girl, and then going into drinking, gambling, and zina, sharab, and drugs, and whatever. And then the heart turns black. Black, pitch, like dark night. And it is murky. There might be a little bit of, nurani in there, because sometimes Ramzan to Ramzan or Eid, Jummah, he might come to the masjid, that might bring a little bit of nur in there, but it's murky. You know, like water which is shallow, and you walk in that pond, it becomes murky. That's called murbaddan. Aswad murbaddan. And kalkuzi mujakhiyan, like a goblet which is placed sideways or upside down. Now, if you try to pour some milk in there, it won't go in. It will just go over it and outside. So any anwarat which come on that heart, it will just go over it and spill, and the heart will not get anything from it. And the heart will be toppled upside down, and because of that, it will not realize virtue as virtue and evil as evil. It will be confused between good and bad, vice and virtue, evil and good. He will think everything is alright there, but do chale ya theek se, kya hua isme, nothing wrong. He will, fall for maybe, let's say, LGBT as well, nauzubillah, may Allah protect us and our society, and this and that, everything, say, oh, everything is okay. No, he won't realize, no, you are wrong, we are right. Even if you try to explain to them, they won't understand. So this is kalkuzi mujakhiyan, la ya'rifu ma'rufan, wa la yunkiru munkaran, illa ma ushriba min hawahu. It will only go for his carnal desires. May Allah protect us. And then some more hadith, Hazrat Mufti Sahib will explain. Sorry for taking too much time. May Allah accept. मुख्तसर दुआ कर लो, फिर नमाज की तैयारी करिए. कुछ कहना है और मुफ्ती साहब? बाबा सुब्हानक अल्लाहुम्मा बिहम्दिक नशहदु अन ला इलाहा इल्ला अंता नस्तगफिरुका व नतूबु इलैक. परवरदिगार आलम, आपकी मेहरबानी तौफीक से जो बातें कही उनको कबूल फरमाइए. या अल्लाह, किताबुल फितन पढ़ी, या अल्लाह मेरी भी हिफाजत फरमाइए हर किस्म के फितनों से, और इन बच्चों की भी हिफाजत फरमाइए, इस मदरसे की हिफाजत फरमाइए, इस मदरसे की खूब हिफाजत फरमाइए, इसकी जो ज़रूरियात हैं ख़ज़ाने गैब से पूरी फरमाइए. तलबा यहाँ पढ़ रहे हैं, सब तलबा को इल्म नाफ़िअ अता फरमाइए, अमल सालिह की तौफ़ीक़ अता फरमाइए. या अल्लाह मदरसे की ज़रूरियात ख़ज़ाने गैब से पूरी फरमाइए. या अल्लाह हमारी भी हिफाजत फरमाइए. या अल्लाह बारबेडोस के तमाम मुसलमानों की हिफाजत फरमाइए, जवान लड़कों की, लड़कियों की, दीन की, ईमान की हिफाजत फरमाइए, ईमान पर साबित कदमी अता फरमाइए. यहाँ पर जितने भी मदारिस हैं, मसाजिद हैं, मकातिब कुरानिया हैं, सब की खिदमत कबूल फरमाइए. या अल्लाह सब की ज़रूरियात ख़ज़ाने गैब से पूरी फरमाइए. पूरी उम्मत मुस्लिमा के हाल पर रहम फरमाइए. उम्मत मुस्लिमा की परेशानियों का खात्मा फरमाइए. बीमारों को शिफा अता फरमाइए. मरहूमीन की मग़फ़िरत फरमाइए. मक़रूज़ीन को कर्ज़ से छुटकारा अता फरमाइए. जिनकी यहाँ औलाद नहीं उनको नेक साले औलाद अता फरमाइए. जिनकी शादियों में रुकावटें, अच्छे रिश्ते अता फरमाइए. जिनकी औलाद नाफरमान बागी तागी हो गई है, घर से भाग गई है, उनको हिदायत नसीब फरमाइए. वापस माँ बाप की खिदमत में आकर अपने, या अल्लाह माँ बाप के पास रहने और ख़िदमत करने की तौफ़ीक़ नसीब फरमाइए. या अल्लाह ये तलबा यहाँ पढ़ रहे हैं, जो हिफ़्ज़ कर रहे हैं, उनका हिफ़्ज़ आसान फरमाइए. उनके सीनों में कुरान पाक को महफूज फरमाइए, उनको बेहतरीन हाफिज़ बनाइए. या अल्लाह जो आलिम बन रहे हैं, उनके सीनों को कुरान और हदीस के नूर से मुनव्वर और रोशन फरमाइए. हर किस्म के फितरों से बचाइए, नूरानियत अता फरमाइए. दीन पर साबित कदमी और मजबूती और पुख्तगी नसीब फरमाइए. मुफ्ती सईद साहब की खिदमत को कबूल फरमाइए. मदरसे को दिन दोगनी रात चौगनी तरक्की नसीब फरमाइए. अल्लाह लोगों को इसकी तरफ मुतवज्जे फरमाइए. अपने बच्चों को यहाँ भेजने और आलिम बनाने, हाफिज बनाने की तौफीक अता फरमाइए. या अल्लाह दुनिया के तरजीह देने के बजाय दीन को तरजीह देने की तौफीक अता फरमाइए. या अल्लाह हमारी टूटी फूटी दुआएं सुन लीजिए. हम सबको दुनिया और आखिरत की हर खैर अता फरमाइए, हर शर से बचाइए. हमारे असातिज़े किराम, हमारे अकाबिर मशाइख जो इंतकाल कर गए, बिलखुसूस हमारे हज़रत नव्वरल्लाहु मरक़दहू, सब की क़ब्रों पर अपनी ख़ास रहमतों की बारिश बरसाइए. जो अकाबिर हयात हैं उनकी ज़िंदगी में खूब खूब बरकतें नसीब फरमाइए. उनके साये को हमारे सरों पर ताजीर बआफ़ियत कायम दाइम फरमाइए. हमारे माँ बाप में जो मरहूमीन होगी उनकी मग़फ़िरत फरमाइए. जिनके माँ बाप जिंदा हैं, खिदमत करने, दुआएं लेने की तौफ़ीक़ अता फरमाइए. हमारी टूटी फूटी दुआएं सुन लीजिए. हम सबको दुनिया और आखिरत की हर खैर अता फरमाइए, हर शर से बचाइए. हर वो खैर अता फरमा दीजिए जो आपके पाक प्यारे हबीब सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने आपसे मांगी है. हर उस शर से पनाह नसीब फरमाइए जिससे उन्होंने पनाह मांगी है. रब्बना तक़ब्बल मिन्ना इन्नका अंतस समीउल अलीम व तुब अलैना या मौलाना इन्नका अंतत तव्वाबुर रहीम. व सल्लल्लाहु व सल्लिम अला सय्यिदिना मुहम्मद व आलिहि व सहबिहि अजमईन बिरहमतिका या अरहमर